Practicing precision during rest is something most people would never think to do because rest is usually treated as empty space. It's the time between the real work. And let's be honest, most people scroll on their phones while resting. That's the default rhythm of every gym session: effort, distraction, effort, distraction. I believe it's beneficial to train the transition between your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. The basic flow that you'll do is usually a working heavy set, but when it's time to rest, you practice precision. For me, that practice is traditional archery. Not because I'm trying to become an archer or compete in anything related to it, but because it forces a level of composure that's hard to fake. After a hard set of sandbag squats, pull-ups, dips, or whatever I'm doing that day, my heart rate is already elevated. My muscles are fatigued, and there's a slight tremor running through my system. In that state, most people either stay amped up or mentally they check out. I instead pick up the bow. I stand still, I control my breathing, and I aim small. The goal is to smoothen the transition from just using your flight or flight sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic. If I rush the shot, the arrow goes way off course. I aim to control my heart rate and instantly perform precision. That's the real point of this idea, training the switch between intensity and control. When you lift something heavier or push through a demanding set, your nervous system shifts into a sympathetic state. You're in the output mode. You're producing force, your heart rate climbs, your breathing accelerates, and your body prepares for effort. But performance in sports and in life is rarely just about staying in that specific state. It's about being able to shift gears quickly and deliberately. It's about moving from high intensity to composure and back again without losing control. By practicing precision during rest, you're teaching your body and mind to downshift on command. Instead of letting your heart rate dictate your behavior, you consciously slow your breathing and focus your eyes on something small and specific. This process builds heart rate regulation in a way that just sitting on a bench never will. You're not just waiting to recover, you're actively guiding your recovery. This builds a kind of muscular discipline that carries directly into your lifting. When I rush through rest periods, I tend to rush through the reps. I might dive bomb into the bottom of a squat or yank a pull-up instead of controlling it. But if I practice precision, I reinforce the idea that I decide the tempo, not my fatigue. It's important to understand that this isn't about turning your workout into conditioning. I'm not firing off arrow after arrow or trying to get my heart rate even higher. The rest period is still rest. I might take 1 or 2 shots, maybe 3 at most, but those 2 shots should be with complete composure and focus. Learning to regulate that response is part of building composure under pressure. The specific tool doesn't matter nearly as much as the principle. Archery works well for me since I do it either way. You can do anything where better focus equates to better results. Shooting free throws between sets would work. Throwing a tennis ball at a small target on the wall also works. Keeping a dartboard in your garage and taking 1 precise throw per rest period would work wonders. I just recommend that you try to also choose something that involves motor skills and hand-eye coordination. For athletes, the carryover is obvious once you think about it. In grappling, you might explode into a scramble and then suddenly you need to make a precise grip adjustment or control your breathing under pressure. In basketball, you sprint the length of the court and then you have to hit a clean shot after. In any sport, you move from chaotic movement to technical execution constantly. If your heart rate spikes and your mind spikes with it, your execution suffers. There's also a deeper psychological layer here. Many people are uncomfortable being still. Learn to settle. Rest feels like wasted time unless something is happening. That discomfort drives them to fill the gap with distraction. Practicing precision during rest forces you to confront that impulse. You stand there with nothing but your breath and the target. What I've noticed since implementing this in my workouts is I feel more structured and deliberate. I've become a pro at regulating my intensity and having the ability to turn it on or off or dial it down. Also, yes, your form may not be the best since you're training, but being able to hit where you're aiming while exhausted is a dopamine rush that's hard to match. At the end of the day, the concept is simple but powerful. Rest can be active. It can be a version of grease the groove in your own personal precision of choice. This is not a new idea. It's one of the things we subconsciously appreciate about all the sports we watch. It's the reason the atmosphere gets so tense when there's a free kick in soccer or a free throw in basketball. We can all appreciate going from intense competition to supreme focus. Give this a try, even if it's just a dartboard or a tennis ball. Let me know in the comments if you try it or have already been doing something similar. As always, thanks for watching.